Are you tired of always missing the mark on your goals? I get it. I was that agent for a long time, year after year. I would wonder why we fell short of our goals. Well, no worries. I've got a few tips to help keep you on track and finally help you accomplish the things that you say you are going to accomplish. Stay tuned. And hey, if we haven't met yet, I'm Stefanie Lugo, and I am obsessed with helping you build the business and lifestyle of your dreams. If you're into that kind of thing, be sure to hit subscribe to this channel and don't forget to hit that bell notification icon to be notified the next time I'm dropping videos just like this. All right, baby, you got goals, let's hit them. So a lot of agents that I speak to come to me and they say, Stefanie, my goal this year, just wait for it, is to generate $100,000 in revenue. Now, while I think that that's a really awesome goal for any agent, or even if you want to hit even higher than that, like great for you, you can accomplish anything that you set your mind to. That's part of what's so cool of real estate, right? This industry really has no ceiling, but there are ways that we can fall short. And time again, I speak with agents who fall into this cycle where they go through the year kind of just going through the motions, and they wake up in like September or October and realize that they are way off track and decide, I'll just try it again next year. I don't want that to be you. It's time to really make sure that you can unlock all the potential that you know that you have as a real estate professional. But in order to do that, goal setting has to be done with intention. We're not just going to identify a pie in the sky number, we're gonna build a plan. Here's how we're gonna do it. Okay, so if you've been in the business for any amount of time, we're going to start with a review of work. All right, so we're gonna take stock of what we've done, what's worked, and what didn't. All right, and in order to do this, you do need a little bit of data. So depending on how long you've been in the business, I would love to see 12 months of data. And really what I would like to see is an entire calendar year, because seasonality can impact how your production goes, right? Like, we know that there are some times of the year where we're busier than others. And so ideally, in order to really make a clear kind of goal based off of past work, you're gonna have at least 12 months worth of data. And from this, you're gonna have all of the leads that you've ever generated during that time, all the deals that you closed, your conversion rates for those, and what activities led you to procure those opportunities. This is going to be a really great starting point because, I mean, even if you have like 90 days of data to look back to, number one, you might find some hidden opportunities, right? Like in logging all of these people, all these different contacts, leads, appointments you had, you might find a contact that you were like, oh, I completely forgot about Joe Schmo. I should reach out to them and maybe you'll be able to resurrect a deal. I don't know, that happens to me from time to time. But what it's really going to do is it's going to challenge some of your preconceived conceptions of your real estate business. A lot of times while we think we've got a pretty good pulse on what's working in our business and what's not, there are some hidden little facts that we can find just by looking at the numbers. And so you really want to ask yourself what's working well and what's not. And this is not just about closings. For example, when we did this exercise a couple of years ago, we found that the bulk of our closings, right, like most of our closed units, were coming from a referral source that took 30% of our commission, and all of those deals were below $300,000. And that's a really, comparatively to the other units we were closing, that was a lower price point for us. So the point is, it was very costly to maintain, and it was not the highest price point, meaning it was the lowest return of investment for us across the board. You might see something like this and think, wow, already there's some opportunity where I can just very easily give myself a boost in revenue just by shifting my time and attention into better ROI lead sources. So once we have an idea of what's working and what's not, we have to get personal. I really want you to challenge whatever this goal of revenue you might have in your mind, okay? So if you are that agent who's thinking like, okay, I'm gonna do 100K this year, I'm gonna get to 6 figures, this is it for me, why? Like, my question for you is why? You have absolutely every right to go out and get that, and you can do it. But what do you want that to actually look like for you in your day-to-day lifestyle? This really comes down to identifying what success looks like for you in real estate. And you have to get really serious about answering these questions, because I know plenty of real estate agents who are absolutely crushing it, right? They're on like leaderboards at their brokerages, they're getting all these awards and accolades, and they are freaking miserable because they're working 80 hours a week, they don't see their families, and they feel like they are going to have a panic attack every time they take one step out of the business. That is not operating like a business, that's operating like an employee who has a really crappy boss. who just happens to have their own name and face. So I want you to get really serious about identifying what your lifestyle needs to look like for you to feel successful, and the money a lot of times will follow. Here's a personal example for me. This year, we are at a great place in production, and I never really wanted to be that agent who was like #1 across the charts, absolutely crushing it, but I do have a lifestyle in mind that I like, and there's a lot of things that I do want to accomplish. And once we hit that level of production in real estate that was affording us that lifestyle, then we began asking ourselves, well, how can we maintain this level of production but not work as hard, or work with fewer clients, right? So there's a lot of different ways that you can still earn the revenue that you want to earn without working so hard. That's another reason why real estate is the best industry. So for me this year, it looks like, how can I reduce my hours? How can I have Friday afternoons off so I can hang out with my cute little toddler? How can I make sure that I can go on 1 or 2 week-long vacations with my family and not worry that my business is going to implode without me? Answer those questions so that you have absolute clarity on what exactly you're trying to build here. Okay, now we're going to talk about numbers. We're getting nitty-gritty into the financials behind how we're going to build those revenue and production goals. One thing that especially newer or less seasoned agents tend to really fall short on is they forget to factor in the cost of taxes, broker fees, and marketing fees. So let's talk about those a little bit. If you're gonna be making $100,000, talk to your CPA first of all. But for me, as a rule of thumb, we have always from the beginning made sure to put 33% of any commission that we earn away into savings. Like literally, we're taking that check to the bank and we're saying we don't even wanna see 33% of this, put it into our savings account and leave it there. Why? Because you're an independent contractor and you're going to have to give all of that to Uncle Sam. Okay, maybe not all of it, but it is good to also have a little extra cushion. So for us, it typically ends up having to be about 25% for our income tax rate, and then we have that extra 10% that we can invest at the end of the year into new computers or new marketing materials or, elevating our brand. There's always something that's going to require an investment. So making sure that you put away the funds to do that is a really important thing. And who cares how much money you're making if you can't afford to do the things that you have to do, like pay your taxes and invest in your business? So next you want to add in your broker fees, and you want to add in your broker fees after you've factored in the cost for taxes. So let's talk about this. So using an easy example, say you want to make $100,000. Well, in order to net $100,000 after taxes, you actually need to divide that figure by 0.7 or whatever you think your tax rate is. So in this instance, we're putting 30% away for taxes. Just divide whatever number you want to make by 0.7, and that is going to give you your gross income to account for taxes, and then make sure you're taking home what you want to take home. So in that case, you would be actually needing to generate about $142,000 in revenue to put away 30% for taxes and savings and make sure you're still netting $100,000. Gross, right? You want to make it even more crazy? Let's factor in your broker fees. Again, easy math. Let's say we're trying to generate $145,000 for gross to pay for taxes and take home $100,000 in revenue. From there, we need to factor in our broker fees and say, I don't know, just again for easy math, you have a 20% split with your broker. So you're keeping 80% of your commission and they're taking 20. Well, in order to do that, just divide that $140,000 number by 0.8, which would be that portion that you're keeping, and that is going to leave you with about $170,000 in GCI, gross commission income. So that escalated quickly, right? Like in order to take home $100,000, you actually have to generate $175,000 in revenue in that example to pay the broker, pay your taxes, and then keep what you wanted to earn that year. From there, you also want to factor in your personal expenses. So make sure that that net revenue is actually going to cover the expenses and savings goals that you have. And once you're comfortable with where that is, that needs to be your goal number. That is your guiding light, your North Star. Step 4 is we're going to break that down into units in production. Okay, so it's super easy. We're just going to take that in the example of having our gross commission income. We have 175K. You need to identify what your average sales price is and how many units it's going to take to generate that income from the commissions. And then you're also going to have to identify your average commission rate as well. So I've got my calculator with me to make sure I do this right, because math has never been my strong suit. But say in our example of wanting to generate a GCI of 175K, in order to account for maybe a lesser commission that we might be seeing in, say, a seller's market like I'm in today, the average commissions are definitely not 3%. We're definitely seeing closer to like 2.5% commissions. So say that's you in your market, say that's something that you're seeing. At this point, you are going to divide 175K by 0.025, and that should get you to 7 million. That is your sales volume. So you want to at least close about $7 million in sales volume if that commission rate is going to be your average, which is something that you want to be keeping track of for sure. And then all you have to do is divide that by your average sales price. Okay, so say your average sales price is 350K, you divide that by 7 million and you're going to end up with 20 units. So here's your goals, right? You got to sell 20 units. You have to make sure that that hits about 7 million. Hopefully you're holding steady at that example commission rate that we explained, and that should get you to a net GCI rather of $175,000. After you pay your splits, after you pay your taxes, you are taking home 100K, baby. Okay, finally, what's it gonna take to get you there? So at this point, if you can't answer that question, we need to talk, okay? So you really have to make sure that you are identifying the things that you need to be doing every single day on a micro level to produce those macro results. And this is exactly what we do in the Market Authority Academy. We spend a lot of time to break down exactly where we're going to generate our business from. Is our marketing and branding going to be in alignment with those? And how are we going to just put this all together into a scalable business that will not only help us generate our income goals this year, but also exceed them the following year and the following year if that's what you're into. So if you're hearing this and you're like, crap, Steph, I never thought about those extra things, maybe it's time we talk. All of the details are below to book a time to chat with me about the Market Authority Academy. I can share a little bit about how I have helped real estate agents across the country double, triple, and even quadruple their businesses in the matter of months. So I would love to chat further about how we can do that for you too. That is all going to be in the caption. Check it out below, and I look forward to chatting more with you there. So I also want to know what aha moments you have here. So if your hair is on fire and you're like, what the heck? Let me know what aha moments you had from breaking down this goal setting routine. I really do hope that you found it helpful, and I think that we can find clarity in numbers, which really allow us to scale to where we want to be in our businesses, which is really what it's all about. Don't forget to hit subscribe to this channel and hit that bell notification icon to be notified next week when I'm dropping more videos just like this. Really hope you enjoyed this one. So thank you so very much for tuning in. Until next time, keep on crushing it.